Welcome to the YNTAAY Minis. I'm Chris Smith, and today we're doing part 2 of TV shows that I'm watching this fall because the people have stopped me on the streets and in elevators and said, "What are some more shows that you're watching?" Because they so enjoyed my last video. Oh, and by the way, I finally did stop watching New Amsterdam. I was sort of on the bubble about it. Um, I found that Hulu has all of Saint Elsewhere, which is one of my all-time favorite medical shows from the '80s, on streaming. So, and it has 6 seasons, and I've started watching that instead of New Amsterdam. So I'm sorry, but still an NBC show, just from 30 some years ago. Everybody, look who came to join us today. It's Chistery, the monkey from Wicked. He didn't get to appear in the Wicked special that I did the other day, so I wanted him to make an appearance. So, just to get his dues. Now, some of the shows I'm watching, I'm trying out the new Charmed, which features, instead of the old Charm, which had Prue and Piper and Phoebe, and then eventually Paige when they killed off Prue because of Shannon Doherty. The new one features Melanie, I have to look because I can't remember their names, Macy, and Maggie. And the one that can freeze time, she seems to be, Piper could, when she would freeze time, she was sort of like, and she didn't quite know how to use it, and she could freeze like a room full of people, but beyond the doors, it didn't seem to work. In this one, I think this girl can stop all time, and she just fell into her powers a little too easy. The other girl can read minds, like telekinetically. She can read, which is her power is sort of fun, and she's trying out for this sorority, and she can hear all the bitchy comments that the girls make, and so I like it. It's okay. It's not my favorite. I'm still watching it. Before we had more well-known actresses that we had grown up with, like Alyssa Milano and Shannon Doherty and Holly Marie Combs, and then eventually Rose McGowan took over for Shannon Doherty as the fourth, never before known of sister. And they have that in this Charmed. It was two sisters raised together, and then this girl pops up because after the mother is killed, spoiler alert, and they didn't know she existed, and then together they make the power of three, and they're very powerful witches, but good witches fighting demons. Speaking of demons and witches, has anybody watched the all-new Sabrina, The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina? Did you hear that the Church of Satan is suing them because they used a similar statue in their show in the new Sabrina, which seems a lot darker than Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I don't know. But the Church of Satan, I don't like to speak out about religions or politics or anything, but they scare me. And I don't think they should get to sue. I'm sorry. But, we'll see what happens with that. I have no opinion about it. I just brought it up just for fun. But okay, so this Charmed might be a little too young for me, but I'm still watching it, sometimes fast-forwarding through some of the stuff. Now, one show that I tried is God Friended Me on CBS. Oh, by the way, Charmed got a full season pickup. God Friended Me, I'm not sure if it has yet, but it's an interesting show, a great premise. This young man is, I don't know if he considered himself an atheist or an agnostic. Oh, look, we're both pointing, me and God. But so he has a father who's a pastor, and he has like a podcast type thing where he's speaking out and, saying that God doesn't exist, and then he gets a friend request on Facebook from God, which leads him to other friends, recommended friends like they do, and it's sort of like a Highway to Heaven type do-gooder show. It's an interesting premise. I didn't keep watching it, but my roommate did, and he loves it. But yeah, I wouldn't mind watching more. Now, one new show that I do love is one of my favorites of the season is The Rookie, starring Nathan Fillion from Castle and from One Life to Live. We love him, and I hear he's a really nice guy in real true life. And look who else is in it. Eric Winter, who you'll remember as Rex Brady on Days of Our Lives. And I really love The Rookie. I think it's fun. It's light. Nathan Fillion plays John Nolan, who's had sort of a midlife crisis, and he's finding he always wanted to be a cop, or, it's like his new career in his 40s. And there's a mean sergeant that thinks he's just doing it because he's having a midlife crisis, and he thinks that it could endanger the other officers. So he's very hard on poor John Nolan, and that upsets me. But the great thing about the show is you see a lot of LA footage. So if you love LA or want to come here, why don't you watch The Rookie? Some of the scary driving will chase you away, because we don't need more people here and clogging up our freeways. Not that I take the freeways. I'm scared to death of them. Another new show is The Cool Kids. This is a retirement home show with David Alan Grier and Martin Mull. But the big draws for me are Leslie Jordan and Vicki Lawrence from Mama's Family. There she is, look, giving the finger. And, of course, she was on the Carol Burnett Show and so many things. She had a small part on that show, Good News, with Andrea Martin. Oh, I just love that show. I'm devastated that it's not back. But the Cool Kids has, I believe, gotten a full season pickup, and it's on Fox. It's okay. It's not my favorite, but it has its funny moments, mostly from Leslie Jordan and Vicki Lawrence for me. And, I will watch it occasionally. It's not must-see TV. Now, one show I do love watching every week is The Conners, which is weird because I never really watched Roseanne, just occasionally. I thought it was too blue-collar for me. A little too middle of the country. No offense, but oh, my nose itches. But when Roseanne returned last season, I watched it and I really liked it, because I sort of like all these returning shows. It's like everything old is new again. Didn't. But then Roseanne sort of went crazy and did her little racist tweet, and she got fired, which I was stunned that ABC, canceled the show, because normally high ratings and money went out in Hollywood, but I guess the tides are turning now. So the family is without Roseanne. Yes, she died of a drug overdose, pain prescriptions, opiates or whatever. So, that's sad, that's a bummer, but and the ratings aren't very good. People don't seem to enjoy it as much without Roseanne. I think there's still good star power there. You know what I'm still enjoying? The Good Place, which is in its 3rd season, and now they're back on Earth. And I think it's one of the most clever, funny shows there is. Will and Grace, in its 2nd new rebooted season, is still very funny, I think. Now, one show that's getting a little long in the tooth is Modern Family in its 10th season. And they keep saying this could be the last season. It's, sort of like an old warm blanket. It's got holes in it, and you're like, I'll just throw this old blanket over me because I've always had it for 10 years. But I still watch Grey's Anatomy, and it's in its 15th season. I think it's as fresh as ever. But Modern Family is getting a little tired. They did kill off, spoiler alert, Dee Dee, who was the mother of the family, Shelley Long's character. And now Haley, spoiler alert, is pregnant. So they're doing some things to mix it up. Now, what did you all think of The Walking Dead? Not Fear the Walking Dead. Blah. The Walking Dead had Andrew Lincoln's last episode as Rick Grimes, and you know, I had stopped watching it this season, and then I returned just for his last episodes, and I don't need to watch that show anymore. It's too bleak. It shows no sign of ending. It's an icky world. I will miss Michonne and Carol and Daryl, but you know, I can pop in occasionally and see them if I want. But Rick Grimes, spoiler alert, they didn't even kill him. He blew up a bridge, they thought he was dead, and then he washed ashore on a river and was then taken away by helicopter. So I thought that was a bit of a cheat, but I guess that's what you have to do. Uh-oh, we're running out of time. Goodbye, everybody.